Welcome to Husker Storm Video Blog. We're going to go look into Week 5 and talk about last week where I went 14-1 in my predictions. It's a good week. This week's going to be a tougher slate of games, so let's get started on them. Start off with Thursday night's battle, USF, University of Southern Florida versus Pitt. University of Southern Florida, I believe, jumped up in the polls to around 14-15 in both of them. Pitt isn't anything special, but they played well. They lost to Iowa, fourth quarter comeback. They lost to Notre Dame, a fourth quarter comeback. So now they are going to play a very good defensive team in Southern Florida, and I got Southern Florida taking one this 2015, a defensive battle for sure. Texas A&M against Arkansas. After second half letdown against Oklahoma State, up 20-3 at the half and lose 30-29. That's definitely disappointing for Texas A&M. I had Oklahoma State winning that one, but going into halftime, I was a little questionable. I knew Oklahoma State was going to come out and make it a game in the second half, but I didn't think they were going to dominate that much. They're not known to have a good defense, but they shut down Tannehill and Cyrus Gray in that second half. The Razorbacks, they got smashed by a very good Bama team. So it has the potential to be a good game, but I really like the Aggies in this one. I think the Aggies are going to dominate both sides of the ball and take this one 34-17. Alabama at Florida. The Tide, of course, they rolled Arkansas last week. We just talked about that. Now they face a Gators team who's pretty hot, I'd say. They weren't anticipated to be undefeated going into the season at this point in time. 4-0. They've dominated every single team. Now their offense has looked good and fast and quick. They've got some very good athletes out there, but a lot of the stuff they're doing isn't going to work against an Alabama defense like this. Alabama's probably got the best defense in the country in terms of tackling. I don't think they create as much turnovers as LSU, but they're probably the number 2 defense, if not the number 1 defense. But the Gators have a great defense this year under Will Muschamp, and a really one-dimensional Alabama team is going to struggle against Muschamp's defense, but Charlie Weis will get some good stuff against this defense, but I got the Tide taking this one in a defensive battle in the Swamp, 2012. Auburn at South Carolina. Well, Auburn lost to Clemson. Clemson did upset Florida State last week, which I did not anticipate. But Auburn has been very one-dimensional this year. And they can't afford to be one-dimensional against South Carolina, who's been playing much sharper. Last week they smashed Vanderbilt, which I wasn't anticipating them to smash them. I expected them to win. I thought it was going to be closer than that. But now they play another one in Auburn. Auburn's got an offense that can do work, but Gus Malzahn's got to work in that passing game if they want to beat SEC teams. So I got the Gamecocks taking this one 40-21 easily, and they're going to start picking up some steam now. Northwestern at Illinois. Illinois almost lost to Western Michigan last week. They lost to them last year. They beat them by a field goal in the fourth quarter with like 8 minutes to go. So I believe they're overrated. They did beat ASU, but Pac-12 teams, come on, they're not that great. I'm just telling you, Pac-12 has struggled, and they're going to continue to struggle. But Northwestern gets Persa back, and that'll be enough to take care of business, 28-24. And now we got Clemson at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech didn't completely destroy Marshall, which I wasn't anticipating. They beat them by 20. And they played well, though. And Clemson, they beat Florida State, which I thought Florida State was going to win that game, but when I made my prediction, I wasn't sure if E.J. Manuel was playing or not. So I think even if E.J. Manuel was not going to play, I was going to pick Florida State anyways, because I thought Florida State's defense would do much better than they did. They gave up 35 to Clemson. Clemson's offense is is they're good. They got speed, and I think they're going to showcase that speed. But Virginia Tech's probably got a better defense than Florida State. So I got Florida State. I got Va Tech taking this one. 28-24. It's going to be a good game to watch. But Virginia Tech better watch out because this Clemson team's feeling good about themselves. Nebraska at Wisconsin. I'm not going to predict this game right here. You can check out a video. It's in my, if you look at the video list, there's going to be just a video on this game, and it's going to break down every single aspect of this game. Now we got Mississippi State at Georgia. Both of these Bulldogs have disappointed, but especially ones from Starkville. Mississippi State lost to Auburn, overtime against La Tech, smashed by LSU. I think they're going to lose again. It's going to be a closer game. But I got the Georgia Bulldogs taking this one 31-20. Aaron Murray's going to have a good day. And I don't know if Mississippi State's going to be able to run the ball that well. Michigan State at Ohio State. Two teams last year that they split and shared the Big Ten title, but they never played. So now they get to play. Both teams, I don't believe, really have an identity offensively. They don't really have a punch, especially Ohio State. Michigan State's much better offensively. Teams that can somewhat do it on defense. I see this as a defensive battle. Michigan State's going to take this. If they can't take this, then there's no chance Michigan State's competing to play in the Big Ten Championship if you can't beat Ohio State. I got Michigan State 19-12. It's going to be a defensive battle and probably a boring game to watch. Washington Huskies at Utah. The Huskies played well last week. They beat Cal like I anticipated. But the surprise for me is Utah. A couple weeks ago they smashed BYU. They hung in with a overrated USC team, I believe. But they're a good team. I just think Keith Price is a good quarterback, and Pac-12 teams better watch out because Washington might get 12 wins. Not 12, 8 wins this year. So I got them taking this one 41-34. Chris Polk's going to have a nice day on the ground. And Washington's going to get another win. They're going to be off to a 4-1 start, which is better than whatever Jake Locker could do. So that's it for this week. Check that Nebraska-Wisconsin video, which is a huge breakdown of that game. We also got Week 4 assessment this week. That'll be up Wednesday or so. So check back for that. We talk about each conference and realignment and who's going to win the conferences and how the national title picture's shaping out. Thanks. Subscribe.